and visit
HPOSNI.com.
This token is the end game. It's
Do
the
you want to know
shitcoin of shitcoin. I mean,
what
imagine
it
telling
is?
your coworkers you're quitting because Harry Potter, Obama, Sonic 10, and you coin. Imagine the media reporting on Harry Potter, Obama, Sonic 10, and you. Ticker is Bitcoin, breaking 1 billion market cap. Now, unless you hate money, go ahead and visit
HPOSNI.com.
This token is the end game. It's the shitcoin of shitcoin. I mean, imagine telling your coworkers you're quitting because Harry Potter, Obama, Sonic 10, and you coin. Imagine the media reporting on Harry Potter, Obama, Sonic 10, and you. Ticker is Bitcoin, breaking 1 billion market cap. Now, unless you hate money, go ahead and visit
HPOSNI.com.
This token is the end game. It's the shitcoin of shitcoin. I mean, imagine telling your coworkers you're quitting because Harry Potter, Obama, Sonic 10, and you coin. Imagine the media reporting on Harry Potter, Obama, Sonic 10, and you. Ticker is Bitcoin, breaking 1 billion market cap. Now, unless you hate money, go ahead and visit
HPOSNI.com.
This token is the end game. It's the shitcoin of shitcoin. I mean, imagine telling your coworkers you're quitting because Harry Potter, Obama, Sonic 10, and you coin. Imagine the media reporting on Harry Potter, Obama, Sonic 10, and you. Ticker is Bitcoin.
Hey, what's going on, everyone? Welcome back to the channel. Welcome to Dano Crypto. On this channel, we show you guys how to make simple, effective, and easy moves in the cryptocurrency ecosystems. So we are going to be asking the question, are you taking the red pill? Are you taking the blue pill? Because right now, this is where I feel humanity is, the current state of perception of reality. Do you want to still stay plugged into the system, or do you want to go down the rabbit hole? So what is your choice, my friends? Well, let's get into it.
The Matrix is everywhere. It is all around us. Even now, in this very room. You can see it when you look out your window or when you turn on your television. You can feel it when you go to work, when you go to church, when you pay your taxes. It is the world that has been pulled over your eyes to blind you from the truth. What truth? That you are a slave, Neo. Like everyone else, you were born into bondage, born into a prison that you cannot smell or taste or touch. A prison for your mind. Unfortunately, no one can be told what the Matrix is.
Unfortunately, no one can be told what a bear is. You can only experience them in real life on crypto Twitter. What's going on, everyone? All right, welcome to the channel. Welcome. So we are going to bring in a little bit of the Matrix concepts in tonight's live stream because I think it's a really good opportunity to do so. With the markets doing what they're doing tonight. So Bitcoin took a 5% plunge in a matter of a few hours, and all the rest of the market took a nice big plunge as well, because we always get harshly reminded that whenever Bitcoin is doing bad, everything else is going to probably do pretty bad. So it is the carrier of the market. It still continues to carry the rest of the cryptocurrency market. So we know that whenever Bitcoin and also Ethereum are not doing so hot, then the rest of the market is just going to go down. It just follows that sentiment. So it cascades liquidations across all of exchanges. I think there was a discrepancy with the CME Bitcoin chart where, we through the holidays, we really had some, where we get the gaps, the gaps on the Bitcoin price. That happens because we don't get those orders filled. We have the TradFi weekend. There's no trading on weekends, no trading on certain holidays. And so that is going to eventually not be a thing anymore, because we can trade stocks 24, we can trade crypto 24/7, 24 hours a day, whenever we want. And we're starting to be able to do this with tokenized stocks through the RWAs, through things like Ondo Mantle and, X stocks, and the way of being able to trade tokenized assets. So what we're seeing right now, I think we're going to look at the CME chart right now on Bitcoin. You can see we were actually doing a nice little inverse head and shoulders. It looked like we had a nice inverse head and shoulders playing out, and we see that here. We saw that actually play out and get to the neckline. This is what we called for Bitcoin. If you guys remember, if you were watching the live stream, if you were watching it Friday, we said that Bitcoin was possibly going to do an inverse head and shoulders. And then after that, we were like, we have no idea what it's going to do, because there is a lot of buildup to the Feds cutting the rates. So this is something that we need to keep in mind here, guys. If you're wondering why we have a lot of volatility, is because we do have a big Fed decision of cutting the rates 25 basis points. Now, this was speculated for a little bit and diverged into being a 50-50 chance. Now we're pretty much at a 90%, almost, the 100% chance they're going to cut the rates at 25%. But the big decision here, and the thing that we are focusing on now, is who is going to be the Fed chair. And so is this person going to act in accordance with the Trump administration, and what they're pushing for is with aggressive rate cuts? So then, if whoever is going to be picked as the next Fed chair, is Jerome Powell going to stay in his entire term? Because his term is up in May next year. So you think about how all this correlates with this extended cycle of crypto, and why right now is the worst time to be bearish. Because if you're really bearish right now, you're going to be selling. You're not going to want to buy. And I was explaining this to a person who was interested in knowing that I was in crypto, and that I'm kind of just all in crypto. This is a person that he's 55, so he's got some years on me. So, and he was working as a nurse, and then also started to get into kind of private practice stuff. But then he's built up a nice, 401k, and has some, retirement stuff. But he's like, I've just been scared of crypto. I don't know, how to get into it, what I should do. He's like, but I got a buddy of mine that I work with, he's invested in crypto, really likes, he's been telling me I should, just take a little bit and put it in there. And he asked me, what if I had $10,000, what should I do? And I gave him a real, easy answer. I just said, there's the top 10 cryptos, and you just diversify, DCA. You don't chuck everything, all at once, and just take it slow. And you don't have to really rush into it, because I think that's what a lot of people sometimes do when they are new. They kind of can rush into it, and then they see the fluctuations really fast, especially with crypto, and they see that they maybe invested a few $1,000s in one day, and then they see the market the next day or a couple of days later, maybe it's a week, and then they check and then it's like down 30%, and they're like, what just happened? So it can be kind of shell shocking to people, and especially new investors. So what I always say is that, like, look, there's going to be volatility in this new emerging tech, but there's nothing better right now to invest in that is compared to what the internet was in investing in, say, like Amazon or something like that back in the day. So this is kind of the best example I can give to kind of onboard someone who is actually genuinely interested and would love to diversify. I even said, look, you can, in your 401k, if you want to get exposure without even owning the crypto, like custodian it yourself, you just buy the ETFs. And that's the whole point of the super cycle of the ETFs. The super cycle of the ETFs is freaking huge. This is what everyone should be paying attention to, is how these flows and these inflows are going to start. Because look, even though the market is down and the market was red, we had massive inflows going into Solana. I think we even started to inflow back into Ethereum and Bitcoin. And this is just a weekend liquidation sell-off. So what's going to happen is that the institutions perfectly set up to be able to buy these low prices that are happening right now with all these, everything in the red, just whatever it is. I'm sure whatever is your favorite coin right now is on a discount. So I would imagine that the institutions that are going for the long haul macro trade here, which is crypto being the settlement layer for AI, being the settlement layer for every single POS system on the planet, that is going to be, Visa, MasterCard is completely getting full on crypto. So there's a lot of reasons to be bullish. So Fed decision rate, 90%. Feds are going to cut the rates. They're going to probably print more money. And the dollar is continuing to go down. So the dollar strength is going down. They're printing more money. They're setting up for maybe potentially even more lower prices. But I think for the macro here going into 2026 is going to be a pretty interesting year. It's going to be a very interesting year because there might be a lot of sidelined people that are not prepared for this network effect. I think what it is because it is pun intended. It is a network effect because these things are networks that we're investing in. And when you think about it, when you're holding pieces of these things, you're holding a piece of the network. Especially if you're invested in Solana, Ethereum, Cardano, anything that's like staking protocol, any of these networks, you are investing in pieces of the network, and you are essentially as an operating node. And you can go as far as doing that, and then have even more stake into these networks. And you can do this with, newer blockchains. Like you can do this with Pulse Chain. You can do this with any of these newer layer 1s and layer 2s to be able to, get more value out of the space. But I think what's the most important right now is to get retail and get people like who I talked to today to demystify crypto, have them to not be scared of it, because I think what makes people scared of it is that they hear about it being a scam. They hear about people losing thousands of dollars, just the horror stories. Maybe the learning curve or the barrier to entry might be just a little, so that is what I would love to help with, and to, bridge that gap between the confusion and kind of, you know, get that process going a little bit better. Make the onboarding process a little easier. I think it depends on what career you're in. If you've already invested, you already have money built up into the stock market and you've compounded interest over the past 6 years, your portfolio in that sense probably looks pretty good. And you're thinking to yourself, okay, I'm hearing about crypto. Maybe I haven't had any diversification. This is when you can just do some due diligence and call and say, okay, is it Vanguard? Is it Fidelity? Is it Charles? Whatever it is, whatever your whatever your brokerage is for your investments, you can see if you can get exposure into some ETFs and see whatever type of crypto exposure they have. And you can get it through there. So then you get it tax sheltered. You get all different types of exposure that way. And then if you want to get like degen exposure, then you go down the rabbit hole. Then you start taking the red pill. That's when you start to realize that, wow, this is actually money. This is new money. And it's liquid money. You know, maybe this person that you're trying to onboard, they know that, like, okay, gold has value, you know, blah blah blah, but you know, I gave the example, the person that I was talking to, we transferred, I just didn't have their number in my phone, so we booped our iPhones together and we didn't even have to type it in. I just literally transferred our contact information. I was like, did you see what we just did? Did you see what we just did? So what do you think is going to be the end game here, besides ticker Bitcoin, on what is going to come down the damn pipe? It's peer-to-peer digital cash, and it's gonna take over the world. So I said, you know, I have this instinct, I have this intuition that, you know, the crazy people right now that are investing in this and messing around with it, creating companies, you know, really on the bleeding edge here, we're gonna be massively rich. And so we have to really, really hold strong through these times right now. And we have to believe. We have to believe in ourselves, because it's very important. And so if you believe in what I'm saying right now, then you just need to hit the damn like button, all right? Let's see where the likes are right now. Where are they at? Okay. I think they're equivalent to how many people were in here, so all right, so yeah, Bitcoin is at 85,000. 85,000. So that was a really nice little sell-off here. It's a pretty nasty candle if you think on the daily here, if on a Sunday. Like, what even was that's a really nasty so it did an inverse head and shoulders, and now it's flipped on the 4 hour and went into a head and shoulders. So it's probably, I mean, I would say, like, if it's going to do like the classic head and shoulders pattern, it would stop here, come back up, grab some more liquidity at 90K, and then kind of just chop around. It might do that right now all through the night. It might do that all through the night going into Monday, and then we can see some wicked, you know, spike up to 96K. That'd probably be my best case scenario here, is that, like, we complete the head and shoulders pattern here, and it could get nasty though, and start to go like down and grab like liquidity here. Because look, I mean, that's some nice order block here. So you see that big green block here? That is an order block. That means liquidity was hit hard here. there was probably a lot of orders, limit orders, big whale orders, all linked up with all the exchanges. It also does that on the other side as well, where it's like big sells. So like that's like where a lot of sell orders were, kind of links up with, and this is actually where it's not like you can use this to predict exactly where the price is going to go every time. But if you are going to try and trade this, maybe you're going to try and swing trade it. Maybe you're going to try and crystal ball where you think Bitcoin is going to go, then you can just use the 4 hour on Bitcoin order block detector Lux algo, and you could just, you could look at like the MACD, so you can kind of match up what kind of volume and buying and selling that's happening. You could, and then that you can see where it's crossing to. So look, you see wherever it gets bullish on a MACD cross here, you can see on a MACD cross, when you get the blue line going over the orange, that's bullish. And you see that actually timed pretty well with that order block here to push liquidity going up to the upside. Now on the inverse, you can see where that liquidity was sitting at the top here and had a sell. You can see all that sell right there. You see right there, that was a nice sell as well. And that correlated with the orange line crossing the blue and going over the blue line. Then that gave us that sideways chop, and could have, if you were watching this particular pattern happening, then you would have seen this as a bearish pattern to then be ready and not caught off guard by this big sell-off. Because you would see it here and go, oh no, we're about to get sidelined, we're about to get bonked. So what we could do is like say, okay, well, where did it reverse, and where and at what point did this happen last time, and how long did it last? Okay, well, it crossed somewhere bearish here, did that same thing, and that was at this price point at $103,000 for Bitcoin. And we had that go down for a hot minute. It was from the 11th all the way to the 20th, and then we finally hit a nice bottom. So could we go to the beginning of, like to the 3rd or the 4th here for Bitcoin? Possibly. It's possible. But you know what, guys? Damn it, you know what? It doesn't matter. It doesn't freaking matter. Do you want to know why? Do you know why? Do you want to know why it doesn't freaking matter? Because if you believe in crypto, shit. If you believe in crypto at all, you don't care about the price. You don't care. You don't care about the price. You really don't. Because how I've used crypto, I don't even care what the freaking price is at this point. I just use it. I send ticker Bitcoin to someone here. I send it to someone there. Someone sent me ticker Bitcoin. Whatever Bitcoin you want to use. I said to this person that I talked to tonight, it's digital cash. You don't have to sell it. It's not about getting a return on your investment, really. It's about holding something that's just going to beat inflation. If you can't beat inflation, then what are you doing? That's the whole point of Michael Saylor's thing, of his company, and what he went through and what he actually finally discovered and tested out to see if it could work. And it did. He said, there's no freaking way that I'm going to be able to survive. Yeah, Dream Tank said 1 BTC equals 1 red portfolio. Like, he said, what are you talking about? Don't care about the price. But the point I'm trying to make is that at a point, like, when Bitcoin is at $1 million per coin and it's being used as cash or a reserve currency, and a lot of things are starting to be denominated in sats or in BTC, things start to get really interesting. And it's not really about like, oh, like what, like you're going to be able to use your Bitcoin, obviously, to use as collateral. You're going to be able to borrow against it. I mean, you can already do that right now, but think about it when it's $1 million per coin. And you don't even need a whole Bitcoin to be able to leverage and be able to like use this as liquid internet magic money. And then that's just Bitcoin. But then you go into ETH, and then you go into DeFi, and then you go down the line and you start to take the freaking red pill. You really start to, then you take the red pill, because the blue pill, my friends, is the old traditional financial system. The ones with the barriers, the ones with the set, rules, guidelines, all those things, the agents, the suits, the people that basically turn into agents. Anyone who's plugged into the system, basically, what Morpheus tells you, is potentially an agent. They are an agent. Anyone can turn into an agent at any time, because anyone who is willingly letting the system program their perception and their brain and their mind to completely just be fully plugged in means that they will be used against you, because they will just say the things that the system wants them to say to discourage you and to continue to get you to do what they want you to do, which is to not realize what the truth is. So when you start to untap out of that system, this is, I think, what in a crypto sense, if we're going to tie like a matrix, ideology, or philosophy, I should say, to what crypto does to your brain if you think about it in a way that is to give you more financial freedom, not necessarily through number go up and price go up, because obviously that's going to make you money, but in more ways, it cracks you open to start to think about what money even is and how our reality is in a completely different way. And if you've already been on that path, crypto just ties right into it, and it makes so much sense. It really does. And at least that's what it did for me. And I think that's why I become so crazy about it. I don't know if you've had that same feeling, but it has empowered me to learn more about money, to get better at a lot of different things. And it's revealed a lot of things about my personality and about my risk tolerance, like how I went into, trading and all these different things that have really shown aspects of myself that I need to get better at. Also things and aspects of myself that I like. So it's a pretty, in my view, it's a pretty revolutionary thing, because I think it's so undervalued and underrated in the mind share right now. It's crazy. Like it's so crazily undervalued. and what I And the thing that I think sparks so much creativity and what I think can really power a lot of people to get into crypto is the meme coin aspect. But not all memes are created equal. Not all ways of a community are created equal, and the way that the community operates in a life form of its own, like a bloodstream running through a body. This is how true virality happens, is that whatever it is, whether it be Dogecoin or Shiba Inu, Pepe, Mog, Bonk, whatever ends up getting some kind of virality, ticker Bitcoin, the community creates itself. The thing creates itself. The memes get created itself. Like the content and the people that end up liking these memes, they forever become infatuated with it. And honestly, like, I think a good example would be More Light. More Light, shout out to him. He literally has promoted only one coin for the past 6 years. Literally only one coin. Maybe he's, helped out and promoted his friends' coins, or, people that are working the deving in the crypto space, because like when I've talked to him, he's like, yeah, I've obviously like helped out my friends' projects, or, I'll say, this is cool, but he's like, I've one ticker only, it's ticker Bitcoin. And I admire that, because there's very few people that will stick with a coin or stick with coins when they are going in the toilet, when they're bad, whatever it is, like all different types of ebbs and flows of being in crypto. It's tough, it takes a special person. And I've kind of been like that with certain tokens like Wojak, Pepe, ticker Bitcoin, some of the Solana tokens, like, I still like I like Bonk, I like Ponky. There's still stuff that, is in it's terrible, but I still like it. I still like it. And so I think that's the point I'm trying to make here, is that there's something special about, and especially with this brand, like, and it really does like tie into a lot about branding and how our culture is now. Like, yes, we do have these like TikTok memes. We have memes that end up going viral through Instagram, or specifically, like, a lot of them come through TikTok. And it's interesting how some of them can catch wind and it does go viral, but how quickly it can die when it has a token associated with it. And then there's 17, 20, 100 tokens that end up getting created from what quote specific thing. Like, for instance, the 6-7. Okay, so 6-7. We know that term right now is very popular with the kids. I mean, my freaking, my daughter's saying it. She's 6 years old. The kids are saying it at her elementary school. Kids are saying it everywhere. But there's probably, if I type in 6-7 on Pump Fund or go into Dex Screener right now, just do it. There's probably 6-7. Probably, like, there's so many. There's probably way too many. And I'm sure a lot of them did get PvP'd. But now there's probably one. Now there is one that did get to a particular market cap. And I think it was this one. and it went to 60. It went to 60 million. It went to 60 million. No, 44. Okay, but from 3 million. But you just don't, with these particular memes, this is what is very tricky, okay? This is what's so I think alluring about meme coins for people, at least for me. Because you see something like this and you can think to yourself, I should buy them. Should I buy this? Because the kids are saying it. But because of how fast things move, and because of something like this, it sweeps through, but then it sweeps right out. And then before you know it, you're saying 6, 7 because like, now it's not funny anymore. And then something like this, it doesn't hold weight long enough. And then if you go into who's holding it, then you can go into the bubble maps. You can go into or it's like 25% of the tokens held by 10%, top 10 holders is holding 25%, 30% of the tokens. The chart though, yeah. Kuzim says the chart doesn't look too bad though. But see, I'll just give you my honest opinion. I think things like this are just not gonna hold up. They're just not gonna hold up. Like I think. If I'm if I'm gonna be honest, like I think out of anything that was gonna have some weight and actually hold was Fartcoin. And all of this, Fartcoin was doing so well trading with Bitcoin as a leading indicator of bullishness. It was insane. I thought I was getting mogged, but every time you would see Fartcoin pumping 10%, 15% right before Bitcoin would rip. And I thought that was hilarious because it's Fartcoin and you think about ripping farts. And if Fartcoin was going to be a leading indicator, it would be like ripping a fart and then Bitcoin would follow suit. And then, the gas and the heat rises. So, I mean, it's a perfect connection. Do you understand what I'm saying? I mean, come on, guys, hit the like button if you don't understand what I'm talking about. Like, no one's making that correlation. Okay, just so you know, it's not happening in any other channel. Cameron said, "I have a question. I get paid. No, it's not going to happen. No, see." What happens is that the market dips like this and no one has a paycheck. Everyone paid their bills on Friday. Everyone is like trying to get Christmas shopping in and stuff like that. There's no money. No one has any money. I got 20 bucks. I got tipped $20 tonight. What do you think that's going to? Well, it already went to it. I bought Ticker Bitcoin, but I didn't put it in the bank yet. But I had 20 bucks that was already in the bank, and I bought some Ethereum on Base, and I swapped it into Ticker Bitcoin, and I got 500 Bitcoins, Ticker Bitcoins, okay, on Base. Shout out to Base, and how I equate that is that I got $500 for $20. That's a steal. That's how I think about it. And then if you really think that, like how I think, the end game token an end game. And it's not even just ticker Bitcoin. You know, ticker Bitcoin is going to be in this category, but see, I'm a psychopath. I'm not a psychopath now. I'm a delusional bull. And delusional bulls have thesis, and they have diamond hands, and they DCA, and they hold longer than the next guy. And that's what's going to make you the most money. And don't let anyone else tell you otherwise. I've seen too much now. I've tried to trade. I've tried to do it. Guess what? Doesn't work. You trick yourself. You're always going to trick yourself and make you think you know, the market's going to make you think you're a genius. And look what happened. I bet you were long. Bet your freaking sweet little ass that you got liquidated tonight and today. Didn't you? I bet you did. So stop trading and know that crypto is not, it's already past the, I need to trade it because I don't know if it's going to go up or not. Give me a freaking break. That's what's so ridiculous. It's like, we were trading it back in the day like we were like, okay, it might get cooked by the SEC. We might get freaking sued. We might freaking go to jail. We didn't know what was going to happen if we held crypto. But we know now. So why are you trading crypto like it's freaking 2020? What are you doing? Stop trading crypto like it's 2020. That's all I'm saying. And so that's the red pill for everyone here. If you're here right now watching, it's because you're probably feeling that same way. Unless you've already woken up out of the dream that you're better than the freaking sandworm that's Binance. It ain't gonna happen. It's not gonna happen. So you have to buy crypto. Some of it's going to go up, some of it's going to go down. I'm not here to tell you exactly what to buy. I'm not here to tell you what to buy at all. I can't. I'm only here for entertainment purposes to show you my thesis and what I'm going to hopefully live be able to show you that was the case. That when ETH gets so massively adopted like it's already has, and it's so undervalued, the dang thing is primed to go to 10K. It's getting loaded up. I mean, even though, look at the ETH is so strong right now with ETH BTC. Like with this crash right now, look at how strong ETH BTC is. It's like it. I didn't even have to look at it, and I just know it is. It's got a nice consolidation. We had a big V-shaped recovery happen to get some more, to get us kind of looking at alts again. When this thing gets up into this territory, that's all you need to think about. That's all you need to know. Like, we're not up here yet, so we don't even have to worry. Like what do we have to worry about? Nothing. I'll just do this. Bye. And then maybe you can sell some here. Maybe you can DCA out here. Maybe you can DCA out right here. And a really great thing that you can do too is just to continue to look at these ETH, look at the ratios to Bitcoin. You can say, okay, that's probably like, why is ETH looking pretty strong? Along with Bitcoin crashing, is that the ETH BTC chart looks pretty decent. But Sol got cooked. Sol went up to 141, but now is under 125. But look at the Sol BTC. Do all the same with, like, look, ADA, Link, AVAX, you can do Litecoin. Yeah, I think a lot of, and see, this is why I'm not promoting any leverage trading. I'm not trying to get people to do bonuses like, oh, like sign up with this exchange and you'll get bonuses to trade and you'll get, you know, USDT to then put in a leverage trade, because a lot of the bonuses that these exchanges will give people is all based on leverage trading. Like they're not going to give you USDT to like buy crypto. Like mostly they're going to be able to give you USDT to then leverage trade, because they make money. Like they make money off of you getting liquidated, or either way they make money on you. So I just haven't really felt too good about that particular scenario. And I don't know. I just don't really like it. And the more that I was doing it and the more that I was feeling really bad, and my wife even noticed like a difference. She was like, yeah, like when you stop leverage trading, you are just like not as irritable. You're not as stressed. She's like, your overall mood in general has just been like way better. And I was like, yes, I have also noticed this as well. And that's pretty wild, you know? So if you're feeling like that and you might be like, man, I need to change something up. If you've been trying to trade too much, maybe stop doing that. And I've done this with a lot of stuff in my life recently where here's a really easy example. My freaking stove in this house that I've been living in, great house, love it. The stove has been tilted, like on the back end, just ever so slightly, that when I cook stuff, the oil will go like down to go towards that lean. I've just let it be like that for the whole year that I've been in the freaking house, because I was too fucking lazy to pull the oven out and adjust the screw on the bottom that will then level it out. So what I'm doing now, hit the like button please, is that I'm going to pull the freaking oven out on every damn thing in my life and fucking tighten the screw. Because what else do we have to do? And now my oil is not going to the edge of the oven. My food is cooking evenly how I want it to. Sometimes it's something just those as simple as that, making those adjustments in our lives that can make the biggest differences over time. And it's going to be the same with investing, learning about money. It's going to just be these compounded wins of adjustments. Okay? It's not going to be these big FOMO driven, emotionally swung trades that are going to make you the man or woman that you want to be. It's going to be pulling out that stupid oven and tightening up that back screw. Do you accept the truth?
Thank you very much. Thank you so much.
You have to see it for yourself. This is your last chance. After this, there is no turning back. You take the blue pill, the story ends. You wake up in your bed and believe whatever you want to believe. You take the red pill, you stay in Wonderland, and I show you how deep the rabbit hole goes. Remember, all I'm offering is the truth, nothing more. Follow me.
I've been really analyzing the Matrix recently, really heavily, the past 2 years, and I swear, you think you figured it out, and then you watch it again, or someone breaks it down. You watch another, breakdown thesis of like what the Oracle was trying to tell Neo, like how it all relates to like these certain archetypal, characters and the roles of each, character, like Morpheus and Neo and Trinity, what the names is, the name association to in their connections. It's so crazy. And I think about like what we've been doing in crypto. I think we've been trying to bend like wealth into, like, we've been trying to like bend spoons, like we try to bend spoons all the damn time. And that's what the spoon boy was telling us about. The spoon boy in that scene in the Matrix, he was trying to tell us that there is no spoon, like the things. And so in my example of the spoon, me trying to bend the spoon is like getting angry at the fact that CZ is just kind of like, was this main character in all these different scenarios of what was happening on the timeline when it comes, with the meme coins, the Trump pardon, all the liquidation events, the connection with Aster, the decentralized exchange with Binance, and all the allegations of Binance being the cause of one of the biggest liquidations. Just knowing that all that manipulation exists, knowing that the quote system exists, knowing that the quote things that are in this world that are the things that we could fight. We have to fight. We have to continue to fight the system. But really, is it, do we have to fight them, or do we wake up? Do we wake up to the prison, which Morpheus points out is your mind? The prison is not the system or the Matrix itself. It is your ability to realize the truth, that it is your mind and your choice and all of the things that you have been led to believe to be true is a lie. And you have to finally wake up. And when you take that red pill and you go down the rabbit hole, it's almost like you can't go back. You've seen too much. You start to, like Neo, he started to see the cracks and started to feel that something wasn't right. And something finally woke him up. And it was the curiosity. It was going into the curiosity, following the white rabbit, seeing the signs and realizing that in his waking reality seemed like a dream, and he could not decipher between the two, whether he was awake or whether he was a dream. And the guy, I remember, he was like, yeah, man, it's called mescaline. But what's so crazy is that, yeah, like we in crypto, we try and bend these spoons all the time. We're trying to get rich quick. Like that's what I think retail's always thought, like, oh, crypto's this like get rich quick scam thing, you know. But I think ultimately, not to say that like, oh, if you start buying crypto, you're going to break out of the matrix. Like that's not the point I'm trying to make, but it is an interesting catalyst, because you got to think about what the catalyst was for Neo in the particular story of the Matrix, is that he was a coder. He was a cypherpunk type programmer with the hacker alias Neo. What was he doing? Was he building private digital cash, you know, for the black market? I don't know. Because he was guilty of every internet crime and every, you know, thing known to man, according to Agent Smith. But yeah, my friends, I don't know. I think I think we've been trying to bend the spoons, and we need to know that our own mind is the prison, and we just have to continue to learn how our perception of this reality is very much the driver of how things are actually going to then, how it operates your choices. If you perceive the world to be a hell, it will be a hell for you. But if you perceive the world to be one of goodness and where there's hope and you have faith in humanity and you want the world to survive and thrive, then I think that that would be the world that you will live in. I don't know. Possible. Maybe, I don't know. But if you believe that, put a W in the chat. All right, so while crypto is going down, what could you be doing right now? Well, you could say in extreme fear, most of the money is made in extreme fear. A lot of money can be made in extreme fear because that is usually when the whales are scooping up all of the doubt. So whatever you're bullish on, you should be even more bullish on it right now. If you're selling out everything and going into cash, you are taking the blue pill. You are cipher, saying ignorance is bliss, and you think that you're going to be better going into cash and you're going to be more responsible and faster than the inflation of the US dollar. Doubt it. But we'll see. But because I'm not going to do that anymore. I've tried to do that. And I know if I would have just held all my crypto, even with the volatility, I'm sure I probably would have I would have a lot more crypto right now if I would have just never traded. Even though I've made, I don't know, 20K or something more trading, but I've also lost that amount. I've also lost that same amount. But just to think of, man, the amount of a constant compounded idea of thinking, okay, crypto, okay, now it's not just about the memes, but maybe just DCAing into some of these things. See what can happen. All right, so let's see what's trending right now. Trending right now on chain, official Trump coin. We have virtual, so virtual protocol on base, aerodrome. This the Wojak on Solana, or let's just say the coins that were established on ETH and then are being revived through pump fund contracts. I don't get it. Why not just buy the first token? Because then there's more of a chance of people to be able to make money. The supply is less controlled. It's in more of an open chart. The liquidity's been locked longer, and it's also on ETH. So you can't JEET sell it like you can on Solana. That's the whole point. So what I think is going to happen to these things, they're going to get PvP'd, and then everyone that was holding the Wojak on Solana is going to sell it into the Wojak on ETH when ETH is at 10K. Way before that, probably, when ETH is at like 6K. That is just my personal opinion. And it just makes sense because think about the people that bought Doge and SHIB and Pepe. Way more people were able to make more money out of that chart than a lot of these, quote, runners on Solana. Let's be honest. It's about like 2%, 5% of the people that are making money on these Solana coins, and most are losing money. But when you have more liquidity in the bank and there's more money and more of a supply that's not controlled, then I feel like you probably have more of a chance. That doesn't mean you're guaranteed, because it's all what it, like, look at the charts. So, but I stand by that. I think that is what I've seen operate the best. And I really would love to see which coins are going to do that SHIB type run. I think it's going to be Ticker Bitcoin. That is my best case. I mean, that is my best guess for a meme that's going to do a SHIB or a Doge is Ticker Bitcoin. The chart's beautiful. It's a beautiful mess. Like, that's kind of how I look at Ticker Bitcoin chart. It's a beautiful mess, you know. You know, I think about what we've been through the past few years. with just memes in general, just the meme culture, crypto. Think of what we've got. Think about what's happened in the world and just in terms of everything in the past few years. It's been ridiculous. So it all makes sense why the charts even look like this. All your charts, all your meme coin charts, all your altcoin charts, everything. Not just your charts, not just our charts, everyone's chart. It's called disbelief of the inevitable. Disbelief of the inevitable. And so I think the believers and the people that are so delusional that it seems like we are crazy and that we are just going to, like, we have like lost our minds. We're going to reap the most reward out of these charts because we are going to have more of the supply. That's the whole point. It's you need to have more of the supply. That's why Michael Saylor and BlackRock and all the high institutions, the Tom Lees, you know, they're stacking this stuff like it's no tomorrow, and they're going on national television telling people they're more bullish than the people that, quote, are in crypto. They are setting up for this, and if you look at the OG whales, they're setting up for this too. It's like on the inverse, we have the Tom Lees and the Michael Saylors acquiring the native asset, and then you have the whales hedging on them acquiring the native asset and buying the stuff. So, for instance, like for Bitcoin, if you're going to be like super red pill, you're buying Dog, because Dog is the biggest meme coin on Bitcoin. If you're bullish ETH and meme coins, then you're buying Pepe, you're buying MOG, SPX 6900, ticker Bitcoin, Wojak. You're buying OG legacy stuff because we've just seen when ETH runs even just a little bit, these things pop. It's not a like a crazy complicated thesis. It's just I think I'm hedging on culture here, that the funnier it is, the better you feel when you're holding it, regardless of what the quote price is or if it's going up or not. Like, that's the magic. It's like, can you hold an asset that people don't even care if the coin's going up or down? They're just like, they like the fact that they hold it. That's hilarious. That's when you don't even know what to do with the money or the coin or the token or the gift that you've been given, because it's so liquid. You can move it to ETH, you can swap it to what, you can do whatever you want with it. That's the whole point. So, can you stay in crypto long enough, like the Bitcoin whales did and the Bitcoin maxis and the OGs that are now able to fund their entire operations? Let's watch a little clip from Pavel Durov here that explains this exact thing. He basically explains that Telegram and Ton and all of his businesses are money sucking machines. They're like, he's like, I don't make money from those businesses. They cost me money. He's like, but where I'm able and have been able to do this is because I invested in Bitcoin very early on. So the whole point that he was trying to make is that he's like, yeah, I was able to, I can afford to lose money because I invested in Bitcoin. And I really would love to play this clip. I just have to. Oh, I think it was a short. Was it a short? All right, I'll just look for it because I have to show you because it's really just like the way that he explained it. It was so like, oh, you know, if you stick with it long enough, and he was like, look, it was volatile. He's like, it was swinging all around the place. But he's like, I held on, you know, long enough that it did, you know, it did very well. So Pavel and Lex Friedman, Bitcoin. There we go. On Bitcoin and future of crypto. Podcast clips. Hopefully this is it.
Even if you take a person, I don't think there is such thing as a negative personal trait. In most cases, to innovate and start new projects, he should be doing more of it.
This might be it.
Alors, laisse-moi te poser une question sur la crypto en général.
Oh, I'm freaking German. Oh, there it is. Okay.
Let me ask you about crypto in general. So you've been an early supporter of cryptocurrencies, Bitcoin. You've bought into Bitcoin early on. You kept buying. Maybe you could speak to the reasoning why you kept buying Bitcoin. Do you think Bitcoin will go to $1 million? Do you think it'll keep increasing? And Bitcoin and all the other cryptocurrencies.
I was a big believer in Bitcoins since more or less the start of it. I got to buy my first few thousand of Bitcoin in 2013, and I didn't care much. I think I bought at the local maximum. It's something like $700 per Bitcoin. And I just threw a couple of millions there. And a lot of people after Bitcoin later next year went down, somewhere close to 300, 200, started to express their sympathy to me. They say, oh, you poor fellow, you made this horrible mistake investing in this new thing, but don't feel bad about it. We still have some respect for you. And my response to them was, I don't care. I'm not going to sell it. I believe in this thing. I think this is the way money should work. Nobody can confiscate your Bitcoin from you. Nobody can censor you for political reasons. This is the ultimate means of exchange. And again, I'm now talking about Bitcoin, but it relates to cryptocurrencies in general. So I have been able to fund my lifestyle, so to say, from my Bitcoin investment. Some people think if I'm able to rent nice locations or fly private, it's because I somehow extract money from Telegram. But like I said, Telegram is a money-losing operation for me personally. Bitcoin is something that allowed me to stay afloat. And I believe it will come to a point when Bitcoin is worth $1 million. Just look at the trends. The governments keep printing money like no tomorrow. Nobody's printing Bitcoin. There is a predictable inflation, and then it stops. It's a certain point. Bitcoin is here to stay. All the fiat currencies remains to be seen.
Gotta get more bullish, my friends. To get more bullish. If you're feeling bearish, you need to continue to watch my channel. Don't watch the bears. Don't watch the bears. They'll get you trading. They'll get you trying to short. They'll get you thinking you're a trading genius. They'll even get you to buy a course or two. They'll even get you to buy a course or 3. I'm just trying to get you to click on my MetaMask link. So when you swap in your MetaMask, you get some rewards. I mean, let's go. But yeah, I like that. So basically the point is you're going to be able to fund your lifestyle and anything you want to try out as a business and lose money on it if you have enough Bitcoin. That's basically what he said. He's like, I invested in enough Bitcoin. People told me I was stupid. And then I proved them wrong by being able to literally do anything I want now and then lose money on starting a business like Telegram and be able to still. So basically being able to just use Bitcoin as liquid capital, digital exchange of money. And so, but not just with Bitcoin, but crypto in general. So I think about that. Like I think about that as like ticker Bitcoin, like the people's Bitcoin for us. If you think that you have now, quote, missed the boat with Bitcoin, because I don't think you still missed it with Bitcoin. That's why it's like, when I start to, quote, look at the Bitcoin price and the short-term price action, I'm like, who freaking gives a crap? Who cares? Because I believe that it's going to go to $1 million per coin. Like it's going to go to, look at the trend. I mean, the trend is it's going to go to $1 million per coin. I mean, it's on its way to go to $1 million per coin over the next 10 years. And so what do you think is going to happen to the rest of these networks in terms of a network effect for crypto? It's going to be insane. So long story short, you hold your Bitcoin long enough, you'll be able to literally fund an insane lifestyle that you thought was possible. But you got to stop trading. I mean, you just got to stop trading. I mean, you just got to stop trading. It always probably is going to be better on the charts anyway that you're spot buying, because then it builds retail FOMO. Then, oh yeah, number go up. Then retail actually starts to go, oh yeah, crypto looks good here. And yeah, we did. Yeah, actually, Cameron, we did get into this too. So like, it's not just about the crypto tickers. It's about these stocks and these companies that are mining Bitcoin in America. They're setting up these preferred stocks. You can buy the preferred stock. You can buy the stock that's mining the Bitcoin. They might even give you some yield or something like that for holding the stock because they're generating yield with the Bitcoin that they're mining, and vice versa. Other way around it is that you're buying MicroStrategy's preferred stocks that are generating yield. And you can do that internationally. That's tax deferred as well. So there's all kinds of things that you can do. So that's the thing. That's, I think, that the secret is what most of the world is going to be running on a Bitcoin standard in terms of that type of capital and debt. Because they know that the fiat currencies ultimately all go to zero, and there's a new money system that's being born in front of our eyes. And so what you're seeing is the volatility of that, and you have to hold through it and buy it. That's the only way you're going to really beat the debasement of the fiat currency and the inflation, because you could hold your cash or your stable coins or stable up into 5% or 7% interest. Okay, cool. Inflation is more than 10%. And products and goods and service inflation is like 15, 20%. So if you're not getting more than 20% return on any type of money that's sitting anywhere, then you're getting cooked. You're getting destroyed. Your purchasing power is gone. So that's how you have to think about it. So anything that's not giving you more than 20% on the year, why would you do that? You just took 20% of your money and burned it if you didn't do anything with it. You could say, oh, so that's better than getting into quote the risky volatile crypto space because the altcoins are down 90%. Well, guess what? Crypto spec goes up hundreds of percent. So 90% is nothing. Bitcoin has gone up hundreds of thousands of percent from its bottom. This is why Pavel has been able to literally create an entire crazy, insane lifestyle because he bought a few thousand Bitcoin at $750 a Bitcoin. Yikes. Insane. But all right, let's do a chat check-in. How you guys doing? You doing good? I think I've been streaming now for too long. We had to get on here though because man, the markets are crashing. I know people are feeling bearish. And I think we could give a pretty decent analysis of the markets. Give you a couple stories, conversations I've had with some people, overall thesis. And what's great is I'm not telling you what to buy. I just want you to be bullish crypto because your bags are going to look different than mine. Like my bags are very specific. I like what I like for very specific reasons. I like Bitcoin, ETH, Solana. I like Crow, ticker Bitcoin. I like Avalanche, Polygon, XYO, Pepe, Wojak, Dogecoin. I like Zera for this privacy digital cash, narrative, peer-to-peer offline. Orca for the DEX, for the DEXs for Solana. Medieval Empires for crypto gaming token. Brett for the base Pepe Boys Club narrative. Nakamoto Games for a international dashboard of mini games and third-party games, and it's just runs every time there's a crypto bull run for games. Layer 2s for Ethereum like Optimism and Arbitrum, and then Ponky, the monkey meme that I've always liked on Solana. Regardless if you think it's a forced meme or a bundled token or whatever the heck you think it is, I kind of still like it. And there's a few other things. Obviously, I like Litecoin. I have a little Litecoin. Did I say Wojak? Yeah, Wojak. I'm even starting to like XRP at this point. I think XRP with the ETF could really do some. For right now at $2 for it to go to $5, which is my target, is a super trade, even for buying spot. So buying spot XRP at $2 or under $2 is like, if you're into that sort of thing. Solana at 126 is like, woo, it was just at 121. So I would say the buy range on Solana. Let's see. And AVAX though, $12 for freaking AVAX is so cheap. That is insane. AVAX at $12 is insane. It's insane. It's so fast. It does all the things that you would want a blockchain to do. And it's gonna be basketed into ETFs. Sui. There's a lot of stuff happening on Sui. There's a gaming marketplace. There's an NFT marketplace. There's memes. There's TradFi going in. There's, it's basically, just think of it like it's kind of like it's a layer one. But there is something unique though, because say the difference between Sui or say Okay, I guess like the program language is different. So it has a programming language called Move. And like, because then you have, I think Solana uses Rust. This uses Move. I think Ethereum uses Solidity. ZK login, sponsored transactions, programmable transact blocks. SUI creates a higher standard for user experience with Web3 by ensuring applications are accessible and user friendly. We haven't really dived into SUI as much as we'd like to. We've kind of just been sleeping on SUI a little bit. TON, I think if you can get into TON, it's pretty early. I think getting into TON right now and testing out the TON wallet on Telegram, you'd be massively early just to kind of see what's going on with that. Crow right now, going into 2026 I think is probably one of the most bullish setups for an exchange token. Pepe, we're always going to like Pepe. Polygon, I think Polygon is going to do really well too. I think the Trump meme coin is probably going to do well. When Solana gets back up into new all-time highs, I think these particular high liquidity tokens on Solana are going to go insane. Who knows which ones, but I'm just guessing that's going to be like Bonk, Trump, Fartcoin, the DEX tokens, and whatever like is going to be like the top 3 or 4, cabal picks that are going to get run up. Render, I've noticed during the altcoin seasons, Render does really well, and it trades on Solana, it trades on Polygon. It trades on all kinds of different blockchains. I've noticed that usually does pretty well whenever we get good pumps. Like I said, when Bonk follows Solana. So what you could do as a really good trade of spot trades for Solana right now is to just literally buy Solana and then look at the tokens that follow Solana like exactly. That is Ponky, Bonk. I think Pingu was following it pretty well too, but specifically those, it was like, holy crap, it was following it really well. So anytime Solana, was either cooking up to the upside, like these were following it pretty well. And naturally, because the pools are pooled with Solana. Got SPX 6900. Man, that's 84. That's in the top, man. That's pretty crazy right now. So you think in the top 100 out of all of these, we have how many meme coins? We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. There's 6 meme coins right now in the top 100. Pretty wild. All right, guys. I think we're gonna end it, man. It is 12:30. We're gonna get some sleep. Hope you guys had a good day. Hope you enjoyed the stream. We kind of just, I feel like we've just been blabbing, but I hope you had fun. We did want to give you a little bit of a connection of the red pill and blue pill, and just to either quote, like, are you gonna be bullish crypto or not? Like, you have to make a choice. Like, make a choice. Are you gonna continue to just like doubt yourself, and then just still be in this old system, like in the banking system with paper like cash, Like, come on. This is where I think we could give ourselves a little bit of credit to be on the bleeding edge of culture and tech right now, and money is exactly where we're at. So I think if we can continue to like what Pavel did when he bought thousands of Bitcoin at 750, this is kind of our time right now in extreme fear and people calling us crazy for being in crypto. Let's see what that outcome might be. All right, my friends. Have a good night. Peace.